let's talk about Stimbok. So I learned, it was an initiative that came up while you and your husband were in your kitchen.
Yes.
So tell me all about that, like how, what inspired this initiative and tell us about Stimbok, what you guys do, and how you and your husband have been working together to, pursue that goal.
Well, Stimbok is a sustainable development company. It's evolved over time. We started it in 2017 and 2016, actually.
Okay.
When we started it, he is a chartered accountant and was looking, I think at that time, I was like, why don't you do personal taxes? And he's like, do you know how qualified I am? I don't do personal tax. And, accounting, you just think, you don't know the different levels of accounting, which he schooled me in very fast. But I am a social entrepreneur at heart. I enjoy different types of projects. And I truly believe that we as Africans, as Black people, do not need to be impoverished. In my soul, I want to see us flourish. I want to see generational wealth. And I want to see our countries producing the world's biggest anything. And so I had the opportunity of being involved in a few government projects, like Canadian government projects that were in Africa.
Okay.
In agriculture, renewable energy, and just watching those, go on and operate. And I went on a few international missions that's where Côte d'Ivoire came into play, and Nigeria. And we had the opportunity of getting to see what was done in the international development space back in 2017. And then from there, I branched off into what we now know as Stimbok development. And since then have worked on different projects in agriculture and renewable energy in all the different countries that you mentioned. And then during COVID, very active in PPE and supplying PPE to many different countries in Africa, just being a solution, supporting many governments there as well. And it's been interesting. It's been interesting to see the need, but also interesting to see the amount of development from 2017 until now, and just how Africa is changing, how it operates. There's a lot of fintech infrastructure now. There is a lot of development in the construction space, quality, just road development, just networks, and just also seeing, I was involved very early stages of just like mapping out what does it look like to have there's a trade corridor between different African nations, and now seeing that at play and seeing it working out. And so if Africa has different regions. So you have North Africa, East Africa, South Africa, and West Africa. And so you have different regions. So you have ECOWAS, SADC. And so just watching those different corridors work and how they're developing in those regions has been really, really interesting. So with Stimbok, we will be going through a rebranding this year.
Okay.
And concentrating a bit more in the space impacting more women.
Okay.
And trying to find a way, because Stimbok is Canadian business in Africa.
Okay.
And that's what the core is taking Canadian technology, Canadian resources, funding, different type of international business that Canada wants to do in these different areas. Canada does have a mandate to, Canada as a country, is very interested in these different regions,
Right.
but wants to see Canadian companies flourish and do well in these regions. And that's how Stimbok really got involved. We were fortunate enough to be in the right place at the right time and
absolutely.
and participate at that. So that's Stimbok in a nutshell. And so this year I do want to find a way for When African Women Talk and Stimbok to work a bit more closely to support more African women and more African women-led projects, just because there is such a need, but at the same time we as African women have changed the way we see entrepreneurship and the way we see business. And I feel the world can benefit from a lot of the products we have.
Right.
Yeah.
That's amazing. And you read my mind, because I was going to have a follow-up question on the connection between Stimbok and
When
African Women Talk. So thanks for pointing that out.